All right, we just started the video. We're going to do the alien invasion here in just a second. We're doing something a little bit different, and we are sans Dave Nelson. So,
second week in a row.
Second week in a row, but he will be back again next week.
In theory.
In theory. All right, firing up Zencaster. After I... Okay. And me. All right, we are ready to go.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Sorry. I'm debating on whether I need to burp.
We are a classy operation without Dave Nelson, let me tell you.
We are. And welcome to the Alien Invasion number 202, a Galactic Network podcast. And I have to say, I have a tendency of actually saying 0 instead of O, just because of my years of working customer service. I was always told to use the actual numbers as opposed to letters for numbers like O, because maybe they might think it's an actual O. So for clarification, this is episode 202. I am Anessa and Brad, along with the lovely Brad Ludwig.
I got my hair did. I am dead sexy.
Duh. Our regular host, as Brad mentioned, Dave Nelson is taking the night off. The slacker. And that said, thanks to Monkey Warhol for providing our intro music. It's a song called Alien Syndrome, and you can find it at soundcloud.com/Monkey Warhol. This is the show where we talk about beings from elsewhere in the universe and their first, second, third, all appearances in film, TV, video games, comic books, science, and in real life. Before we start things off with the news, my question is, why do I always forget about these questions? Aliens? Who knows? Yeah, I totally forgot about the question. I'm sorry, guys. But if anyone has a question...
Here it is. Why did you forget the question? That's
aliens.
My question. Aliens. Boom. Done. we got it.
Poor planning. It could be anything.
There we go.
All right. So first up is an article about knocking in space.
Knocking. Boots?
Literal knocking. Like knock, knock, knock. Who is it? Aliens.
Aliens. Aliens who?
Just aliens.
You gotta push your hair up.
It's aliens. All right, so the Chinese Space Agency is ready to take on the international stage when it comes to space explorations, but is China ready to meet alien life? Whew. Some Chinese astronauts said they've heard mysterious knocking sounds in space. Another wave of speculations about alien life surfaced just when a Chinese astronaut claimed that he heard mysterious knocking and banging sounds in space during his flight in 2003. Yang Luwei is the first Chinese astronaut to reach space, and he recounts his first flight to space was clouded with mystery. In a recent interview, Yang, I really don't know how to say the last name, Liu Wei? I'm going to go with that. Liu Wei. Said that the sound is similar to a hammer hitting a metal surface. During his mission to space, the astronaut claims that the sound appears and disappears constantly throughout the mission. A non-casual situation I have met in space is a knock that appeared from time to time, Yang Luwei said in a TV guesting in China, according to IB Times. It neither came from outside nor inside the spaceship, but sounded like someone is knocking the body of the spaceship just as knocking on an iron bucket with a wooden hammer, Yang Lue added. His claim was supported by another unnamed Chinese astronaut who was with him during the mission. The now senior general and former astronaut also allegedly tried to inspect the source of the mysterious knocking sound to no avail. The sounds disappeared when Lue returned to Earth, according to the Daily Star, which makes sense because he's not here to hear them anymore. Just making that observation. The sounds disappeared because I was no longer there to hear them. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
And in a surprising twist, astronauts who reached space after Yang Lue also claimed to have heard the sound during their mission aboard the Shenzhou 6 and Shenzhou 7, but Lue already warned his colleagues about the mysterious sound. Before entering space, I have told them that the sound is a normal phenomenon, so there is no need to worry, said Lue in the same report. Okay, so the sound did continue, but it makes sense that he wouldn't hear it anymore because he's not there to hear it. All right, so because of the bizarre nature of the sound, some suggest that it could be a sound of an alien, according to Express News. But in a non-believer's point of view, it could be part of the spacecraft constantly hitting the other, but no one can tell for sure until the origin of the sound is identified. But up to this day, the first Chinese astronaut is not expecting to find the source of the mysterious sound. He claims to have tried to recreate the banging sound, but did not succeed. Knock 3 times on the ceiling if you want me. Twice on the pipe, ding, ding, if the answer is no. That's what came to mind.
That's true. I could see that. So were the aliens trying to get some? Is that what you're trying to imply with that little?
I'm seeing maybe they were really big fans of Tony Orlando.
But not Dawn.
No. I don't know.
Okay, kids, there was this group, and it was... Never mind. Google it. I would be interested to... I mean, with it being so cold in space, and it has to be warmer inside the capsule, obviously. I wonder if there's some kind of disparity with a temperature difference between the interior and the exterior, that maybe it's causing something to expand and contract, and that's creating the banging noise. I wonder.
I do. Maybe they really hate the rest of the group. They're like, screw you, Don. It's all about the Tony Orlando. I don't know.
Well, there could be that too.
I do think it's something that's there within the ship that just keeps occasionally clinking as everything adjusts, because they are traveling at a high rate of speed. I imagine nothing is exactly constant, so things are bound to change.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, while we're on the topic of spacecraft, some goings on in Turkey.
I like turkey.
I love turkey. We had a bunch of turkey for Thanksgiving, as did many folk.
Yes.
On that note, it's not that turkey. UFO attack. Turkey experiences shocking mass UFO sighting.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, I don't have my soundboard up. Otherwise, I'd put that up. A fleet of mysterious aircrafts hovering over the skies of Turkey on November 27th has prompted a mass panic. A video of the incident was posted on YouTube by user SecureTeam10, and most of the internet agreed that it could be a cluster of UFOs. This year has been filled with massive UFO sightings, and the event in Turkey is the latest edition. The uploader said, "We had a fleet of these unknown lights that were appearing in multiple cities across the country of Turkey, causing mass panic for many people. On the same night the video was uploaded, hashtag UFO Attack Turkey trended on Twitterverse. The Event Chronicle reported that while the hashtag was trending, it was censored to some degree by Twitter and even Facebook and YouTube. Daily Star reported that there were 4 or 5 fleets of lights spotted clustering together in various parts of the country. As per Inquisitor, the mysterious objects were very similar in appearance to the famous Phoenix Lights incident back in 1997. There were also a number of similar UFO sightings in Denver and Texas. Some skeptics said that the aircrafts could have been owned by the U.S., who was working on a secret mission. Meanwhile, just recently, Malcolm Robinson, the founder of Strange Phenomena Investigations, which carries out UFO and paranormal research, has revealed that that government is not telling everything they know about aliens. As he claimed, they are not even telling half the truth. Are we really being invaded by aliens? While there is no guarantee if alien invasion... Who wrote this? Because they're missing words and it's freaking me out. All right. While there is no guarantee if the alien... Good God. If the alien invasion will dawn upon us, experts have already weighed in with such possibility. Astronomers at the Search for Jesus Christ, SETI in California said extraterrestrials would not just... What? Would not be just how we imagined them to be. No flesh, no bones, but super intelligent machines who are equipped with innovative technology that the Earth has never heard of. Like the new PlayStation that will be out next year. Well, we've heard of that technology. Never mind. It's coming out next year. What am I talking about? I don't know.
I can neither confirm nor deny any details of the new PlayStation coming out next year.
Exactly. So Turkey was probed at the end of last month. It's very fitting. That's how you know it's done. You got to probe the turkey.
It's well stuffed.
Well stuffed, and you're not going to get salmonella from it.
No.
Okay, I stopped.
Okay.
Come on. It's really going to make me... This is the first time using Zencaster, and I'm not... I was trying to break this up for Dave, and...
It ain't working.
Well... It's uploading the wave right now.
Oh.
I thought it was going to be faster than this.
That's what she said?
Twice. And it made her very sad. Oh, it's 21% done. Holy shit. All right, 23, 24. I am very sorry, everybody, but if I jump out of this now, we're going to lose what we've done. I have now learned a valuable lesson.
Don't break it up for Dave.
Don't break it up for Dave. Screw you, Nelson. You're going to have to work for it.
He works hard for the money.
Some bitch.
I don't know why songs are popping up in my head.
I don't either.
During the show. Today on Woot, you can find a Big Boss oilless fryer for $54.
You can fry like a boss.
Like a boss, but without all the grease. So like a healthy boss.
What?
Yeah.
That ain't American.
Well, just pour hot sauce on it. It'll be okay.
That makes it all better.
Duh.
Duh.
Today on shirt.woot, Merry Nightmare.
Love.
Yeah. So if you're a fan of The Nightmare Before Christmas, there's a shirt that you might like. By Doomcat.
Seems legit.
This is how I kill time on the internet.
Oh my god, it's at 58%. I am so sorry, everybody. Well, here, we'll do a bonus story here real quick from the New York Post. Gigantic underground oceans could be full of aliens, and the aliens are in quotation marks. Scientists have claimed that massive oceans are hidden up to 620 miles beneath the surface of the Earth. These mysterious bodies of water could even hold life forms so unusual that some scientists would regard them as aliens. Seems legit. Steve Jacobson, a researcher at Northwestern University in Illinois, said a part of the Earth's core called the mantle could contain several oceans worth of water. The deepest of these subterranean seas is believed to stretch about a third of the way down the Earth's molten core. To the Earth's molten core. If it wasn't down there, we would all be submerged. Well, makes sense. Jacobson found a diamond in Brazil that that contains imperfections that could only be formed in the presence of water. This implies a bigger reservoir of water on the planet than previously thought. The underground oceans are unlikely to resemble any lakes or seas found on the surface of the planet, with the water bound within rocks which soak up the liquid like a sponge. This means it is unlikely to be home to any large organisms that are known to science. However, tiny microbes might just be able to survive in the hidden oceans. Some scientists believe there is a biotic fringe in Earth's core, which Live Science described as a boundary where current knowledge predicts that no living cells persist because the temperature and pressure are too high. But researchers are often astonished by the conditions that organisms can put up with, like the sea vents. Yeah. One single-celled organism called Geogemma barrosi, there we go, was found thriving near the deep sea. This is what I'm talking about. Was found thriving near the deep sea hydrothermal vents off the northwest U.S. coast, an environment which Harvard University described as alien. Geogemma barrosi is able to survive in temperatures up to 248 degrees Fahrenheit, something many scientists believe was impossible. If the alien can survive, and that's alien in quotes, can survive in such extreme conditions, what else might be lurking down there in the depths of our planet?
Ooh,
yeah.
Extremophile. Ooh.
All right. We're going to fire this up again. Let's see if it... There we go. All right. So, I think we're on to our sightings.
What?
What sightings do we have?
I have a sighting that dates back to March 1976. To me, it seems a little familiar, but not really. Maybe I've just been looking at a lot of sightings lately. And let me tell you, there's a lot to sift through because you end up with a lot of crap sightings in quotes, like it probed my bum
That's literally one that was.
Yeah, it was like it touched me sexually and probed my bum. So yeah, there was a lot of that.
Hashtag alien butt stuff. That's for you, Phil Banker.
Yeah. All right. So March 1976 in Decatur, Illinois. Brief summary. A white kite-shaped object that was aloft but stationary changed to elliptical shape, then to disc-shaped. Then it started moving and flew a peculiar course like a W, reversed itself instantly to retrace the course, reversed back again to refly that same course, then continued up to a 45-degree angle, and it instantly vanished. I thought that was kind of cool. So this takes place apparently in the daytime, in the afternoon, in a suburban commercial area. Yep. The size of the object was about the size of the planet Venus in the sky. The size of planet in the sky. Venus.
I enjoy, he spells it right the first time. And the second time it's Venys as opposed to the Venus.
But it was
in their defense on the keyboard, the Y and the U are right next to each other. He might have fat fingered it, or she might have fat fingered it.
Oh
yeah.
But it was in the wrong part of the sky. It was about a half a mile away, and like it said, kite shaped, and then it changed shape. So the object was maybe 15 or 22 degrees above the horizon when first spotted. Its initial location was northeast of the place where I stood. It was also northeast of the town. It was far enough away that I couldn't tell for sure how big it was or how far away. It could have been a mile away and the size of a Cessna, flying fast as a prop plane. It could have been a number of miles away, though, in which case it might be awfully big and awfully fast. The UFO was silent. Nothing came out of it. Nothing went into it. It was opaque. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. The first motion was downward to its left at a 45-degree angle. When it changed direction in flying the W-shaped course, it made a very tight turn, almost angular. I like to watch aircraft, and I like unusual ones. This performance appeared impossible to me, but there it was. In flying this pattern, the object described a big letter W with the slightly blunted points, flying mainly left to right, that is, east to west. It instantaneously reversed directions with no speed change. It reflew the course in reverse, went to east, that is, left to right. It changed direction instantaneously again and flew the course in its original direction. It certainly did a good job of retracing its, quote, steps exactly. When it had finished redrawing the big W in the sky, not with the contrail, just with its movement, it kept on going up for a bit at a 45-degree angle, then it disappeared instantly, not instantaneously. Its final location was north-northwest of my point of view and north-northwest of town. While I watched this action, I was so literally dumbstruck. I couldn't talk to anyone, though I could check my watch and note the time. There were various people coming and going because I was at a strip mall. Nobody seemed to look and see why I was standing still and looking up for 4 minutes. I wonder what they thought. After I came away, I was extremely agitated and mentally asking myself, what was it? What was it? And wishing it would come back. I had trouble generally talking to people for several hours. It was even more difficult to initiate discussion of having seen an apparent UFO, and I had to go to work pretty soon after that. So the witness's background: visual artist / educator who has worked as a graphic designer at the time of the sighting, in fact. They have a university degree. They've studied in the US and Australia, went to China, including Tibet, for artistic purposes. Serious Taiji player. Other comments: over the years, I've told the story periodically, whenever I felt like it. Only 2 people have ever openly challenged the truth of the story to my face. Sometimes I ask friends if they've ever seen a UFO. Once in a while, somebody says yes and describes the sighting. An elderly artist couple living in the same general area saw a UFO near the same 5-year period, but it was much closer, a close encounter perhaps, much smaller and red. So, have they reported the sighting? Yes. To who? Just to personal friends / UFO hobbyists over the years. Filled out forms like this on some 21st century websites, and they left it at that. The name is Lita, and they're still in the Illinois area. Decatur. They're still in the state. And they're 53. So, yeah, it was a shape-shifting, W-flying, spontaneously disappearing UFO.
Seems legit.
That would have been trippy to see. I'm not going to lie. And I probably would have given the person randomly standing there looking at this guy a weird look and then turned to see what they were looking at.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, what? Is there anything over there that you need to look at? What's going on, man?
All right. Now it's time for
Peaks and warnings.
Now, since you've been
talking all the time,
a lot there, I will do mine first. We'll switch up the order.
Woohoo!
Say,
what?
I was using the Hulus while I was at work,
what?
And over like 2 lunch breaks, I watched a movie. Because Hulu not only has TV shows, but they have movies.
For reals?
For reals. And I watched something that I hadn't really thought I would ever watch, but I had time to kill for 2 separate lunch breaks. And I watched Transformers: Age of Extinction.
Ooh.
Yes. Now, this... some interesting folks appeared in this one. This is the Mark Wahlberg run. He was the lead character. One actor that appeared in this was Stanley Tucci, which I love Stanley Tucci. He is a great actor. Kelsey Grammer was in this. T.J. Miller was in this. And spoiler alert, I'm going to give you a second or two to pause here or to move past this, but T.J. Miller dies horribly within, like, at the end of the first act.
There you go.
It's awful. It's so awful, and you really kind of like the T.J. Miller character of Lucas. But his death was just, wow, what a kick in the crotch. A couple of holes that I felt were in it. This is after Age of Extinction happens after the Battle of Chicago, which is a huge Decepticon Autobot fight that destroyed a lot of Chicago. So the government is very concerned about aliens, and that's kind of why this movie sort of resonates right now. This movie was out in 2014, but it really resonated with the current situation that we find ourselves in today. And at some point, and I didn't see the previous Transformers movie that would have. I think this is the 4th movie. I didn't see the 3rd Transformers film, so I don't know exactly what happened. But Mark Wahlberg is a robotics. His character, Kate Yeager, is a robotics / inventor kind of guy. He's a brilliant a brilliant inventor who's semi-successful in the body of a jock. And he finds, and this is the weirdest thing, he and TJ Miller they go to an old movie theater, a movie theater that hasn't been in use for a while. And there is a semi truck, not the trend, no trailer, just the truck, the cab is in the theater. Now, I didn't quite figure out how it got inside. I didn't see massive damage to it, to the building, but there it is. But there's huge bullet holes and a very large gaping hole in the grill of the truck. And Mark Wahlberg's character, Kate Yeager, tows it back home and proceeds to tinker with it and figures out that it is not a truck at all. Now, the current, and I mentioned that the government was not happy with aliens. So as of this point in time, they are actively looking for Decepticons. But we come to find out that Kelsey Grammer's character is doing more than that, and he's hunting all robotic aliens.
Oh.
Autobots included. So I'm not going to give away what the ultimate goal of this is, but I will say that to a person who watched, admittedly, I did not have cable when I was a kid. I lived out in the country. So I didn't get to see the Transformers when they were popular in the 80s. But, I did go to see Transformers the movie in the theater because you've got the touch. And I love that soundtrack. I think I've mentioned that in a previous episode. There is a certain way that a Transformer should transform, and there is a certain sound that it should make. And yeah, I probably sound like a purist, but they do something a little weird with this, and it is really the major plot of the whole thing, which I'm not going to give away. But if you do take the time to watch Transformers Age of Extinction on Hulu, you can better understand what I'm talking about. Now, on our scale of 1 to 5 flying saucers, I'm going to give it a 2.5. The effects were good. There were... Okay. As we've come to understand with the current climate of movies and trying to guarantee that something's going to be a blockbuster, a movie really has to do well in China or, overseas in general. But it seems like they partnered with the Chinese. And there's a point where Stanley Tucci is like kind of hiding out, and he reaches into a refrigerator and pulls out a drink, and he's drinking something that is obviously in a language that is not English.
Right.
And it looked like Chinese product placement. There's little bits of that in the film. So it's really interesting and they had a couple of Chinese stars in the film as well that do show up. His Stanley Tucci's character, Joshua Joyce, who's kind of like a nasty Steve Jobs. That's the best way to describe him. What is her name? Bing Bing Lee? Yeah, that's her name. Bing Bing Lee. And you find out that there's a little bit more to her character, Sue. And it's really, really kind of interesting. So anyways, that's Transformers Age of Extinction, 2.5 flying saucers on the Hulus.
Cool. I've I've not seen it. So I saw the first one. I think I saw the second one.
Yeah, I saw the second one
and then
at home.
I haven't really watched any others. For sure saw the first one, though. The second one I may have blocked from memory. I don't know.
We have the first one here on Blu-ray.
Sweet. I actually like the first one.
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I thought it was a fun movie. So, and I did grow up watching Transformers as a kid in the 80s. So,
boom.
There you go. All right. So my pick is a documentary. I don't usually do a whole lot of documentaries, at least not recently. But it's called Out of the Blue, The Definitive Investigation of the UFO Phenomenon. This documentary on the UFO phenomenon aims to show that some UFOs may be extraterrestrial and that secrecy and ridicule are regularly employed to keep the truth about UFOs hidden. Dun, dun, dun. And that's essentially the summary. I did enjoy this documentary. I thought they did a really good job of presenting multiple sightings. The documentary itself was I'd say about an hour, 45 minutes, almost 2 hours, but not quite. And it kind of bounces back and forth between timelines. So you're not progressing through the years. It'll maybe talk about a sighting from the late 80s and then go back to the 50s and then come back to the 90s and then go back to the 60s. And so there's a lot of bouncing around. And there's a lot of familiar sightings that we've talked about on the show. Roswell, Rendlesham Forest. And they had interviews with some of the eyewitnesses, some of the experts, some of the people that were in the military that were reported to about the sightings and whatnot. And no, I just thought they did a really good job of presenting the information without going out and saying, was this extraterrestrial life? Is this a government conspiracy and cover up? Are there aliens running the government? Should I get my tinfoil hat? It wasn't like that at all. And I really enjoyed that. So if you have a couple hours to kill, I would highly recommend checking out Out of the Blue, The Definitive Investigation of the UFO Phenomenon. I know it's available for streaming on Amazon. I don't know if it's available on Netflix or Hulu. So there's that. But yeah, I believe it aired back in 2002, 2003. They do use some visual recreations, visual effects that aren't horrible for 2002, 2003. Little cheesy, but it does a good job. They don't try to make it out to be more than something that it's not. So if someone says they saw a glowing light going through the woods, that's what you see in the recreation. It's not, any weird sound effects like woo. So yeah. I highly recommend it. Give it a watch. Like right now, after the show.
Not right now.
Okay, fine.
Wait just a little bit.
So yeah, those are our picks. I had Out of the Blue, The Definitive Investigation of the UFO Phenomenon. And Brad had Transformers, Age of Extinction.
Word.
So, I think that's going to do it for this edition of the Alien Invasion, a Galactic Network podcast. We'd like to thank Retvard van Dernberg, a composer from Germany, for providing our new closing music called Be Water. Learn more about him and his music at thecaravel.net. Final thoughts?
Now I think maybe I should go back and watch Transformers 3.
Maybe.
Fair enough.
There you go. All right. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Good night, London.
right. That's interesting. Oh, okay. There we go. Like, I was like, oh, it instantly uploaded? How does that? Oh, no, it's not.
Oh, that's a bummer.
That's fine, though. Yeah, when we don't have a third person, the show goes a lot faster. And that's not a good thing or a bad thing necessarily. It's just a thing that's interesting.
So what was the showtime on this one? Do you know?
Just over 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 32.
It's crazy.
Yep. It is crazy town. But that gets us out of here at our normal time. So, because we were a little bit late.
You're very late.
We were, well, yeah, we were a lot a bit late. But on that...
Not even going to lie.
No. Not even a little bit. Because what would be the point?
Exactly.
There's documented proof as to when we started. So, all right. Well, we are going to stop broadcasting, and you guys can go about your regular day. If you are checking us out at Alpha Geek. Sorry, I got distracted. If you're checking us out at Alpha Geek, thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next week.
Squirrel.
Okay, bye.